Welcome, Frekla Reflection listeners. I am so glad that you are here today and you've joined our podcast. Today we are finishing up our theme, creativity and critical thinking. We've been working on that theme for 2 weeks. This is the end of our theme process here. So our topic for today, our last topic in this category is going beyond subjects, right? We've been talking a little bit about phenomenon-based learning. So we're going to connect how collaborative teachers build thinking through this strategy called phenomenon-based learning. Have you ever noticed how students light up when a lesson suddenly connects to real life, right? As soon as you give them a connection to something that matters to them, then they seem to be more interested. It's not so much when math isn't just numbers, but when math becomes a story, or when science begins to be explained by art, or language helps to make sense of history, right? That's when phenomenon-based learning connects and it takes learning out of its box, out of its siloed subjects, and puts it into real world learning. And teachers who collaborate make that magic happen. In today's episode, we're exploring how collaborative teaching builds creativity and critical thinking, not by adding more work, but by connecting what's already there. So this isn't a session on, oh, great, now I have to add this to my planning. No, this is about connecting what you already have using collaboration and small groups and large group activities to make learning real. So shifting from siloed subjects to phenomenon-based learning. In Finnish schools, subjects aren't siloed. They are strands that weave together around big real-world ideas. We call that phenomenon-based learning. Some people mix that up a little bit with project-based learning, but phenomenon-based learning is a little bit different than project-based learning. So let's talk a little bit about that. A phenomenon can be something like water, migration, sustainability, community. Instead of memorizing facts, students investigate connections, right? So they dive into the idea of how science and geography might be connected, how art and language might interact with one another in a lesson. According to Finland's National Core Curriculum in 2016, this approach helps students build transversal competencies. These are skills, it's just a fancy word for skills, 21st century skills that cut across all learning, thinking, collaboration, cultural literacy, self-expression, autonomy, efficacy. It's not about covering content. We all, as teachers, have a huge book of content, right? That's our textbook that we feel like we need to get through. But this isn't about that. It's about helping students to see patterns, ask better questions, that's critical thinking, and think across boundaries, right? And that's exactly what we do not only in Finnish education, but also in Kenya's CBE, competency-based education, is aiming for, with competence, connection, and creativity. So CBE and Finnish education are very similar. Phenomenon-based learning isn't just for students. It's actually for teachers too. So the power of a collaborative teacher, making plans together with other subject teachers, right? A science teacher and an art teacher can co-design a project on water in our lives, or one studying the water cycle in class and the other guiding students to paint what water means to them. This collaboration models real thinking for students, seeing how ideas overlap, how different disciplines bring different ways of knowing. Researchers like Lavonen and Salmela-Aro describe this as co-agency. It means teachers and students share the responsibility of learning, everyone's ideas matter, and curiosity is leading the way. So 5 pillars of a collaborative teacher. So these are characteristics. So you can think about this in a way. You can evaluate yourself and see if you would be considered a collaborative teacher. For example, shared leadership. So students help shape the questions. They co-create investigations instead of waiting for directions. So is your classroom a collaborative effort toward learning? Do your students have the opportunity to be part of the direction and decision making? Number 2, reflective dialogue. Do you model curiosity by wondering out loud? Helping students to think, right? Teachers would say things like, I hadn't thought of it that way. Let's explore, right? So sharing your own opinion verbally, outwardly, so your students can hear what your thought processes are. Intentional planning, that's number 3. Are you creating links in your lessons across subjects with one central question or real world theme? Number 4, empathetic communication. So as a teacher, does your classroom stay open, calm, and safe for diverse ideas and expressions? If somebody answers your question in a way that you didn't expect, do you say, oh, I don't think so? Or do you explore their idea further? And number 5, collective growth. Do you as a teacher, do you create learning as a shared process? Meaning that you as a teacher are learning with the students. When they come up with new ideas or they ask questions you don't know the answers to, you allow them to explore and acknowledge, hey, I hadn't thought of that. Let's explore that idea. So collaborative growth. So those are the 5 pillars. Reviewing them quickly, you have shared leadership with your students. You share reflective dialogue. You share your thoughts outward loud. You do intentional planning with cross-subject ideas, and you offer empathetic communication. So you have an open, calm classroom, and you have collective growth. You are learning along with your students. So you can rate yourself and decide if you are a collaborative teacher or not. Let's get into our practical application part of the podcast. So 3 practical ways to start phenomenon-based collaboration. You could start small. You definitely don't have to make a big jump into this huge project or activity, but you can start with some small things. And there's 3 here I want to share with you. First, you can create a phenomenon wall. This one is pretty simple and it can be ongoing. So you pick a real world theme, maybe for the week or for 2 weeks or whatever your theme-based learning is. And then maybe something like water, community, or global change. Post it on a board or on the wall of your classroom and invite students to add questions, drawings, or connections from different subjects. So this can be ongoing. This isn't something that you do once and then ignore it, right? The whole time you're studying the water cycle or the whole time you're studying community, you can keep this phenomenon wall up and students can continue to add questions and you can bring it up throughout the conversations and the lessons over time. And you'll see how curiosity grows right before your eyes. Number 2, try an inquiry circle. Pair students from different subject strengths. I really like this idea. It opens up students' eyes when they do this with a peer. So maybe one student who really loves writing, language, with one student who really loves science and one student who really loves art. And put them all together in a small group, have them use their expertise in their area of interest, and then give them a challenge. So it can be related to your lesson. How does light change what we see? So from a writing or language perspective, they can investigate light and figure out how to share their findings. For somebody in science, they're obviously going to be researching light in a different way. And so they can follow that path. And then the art student, obviously light has a lot of different aspects in art that are different from science or writing. So each student will take their expertise or their area of interest and do the research on that question and then share it with each other and create a project around their findings. I really like that one. That one's a lot of fun. Number 3, map a shared outcome with a colleague. So if you can, this is more teacher to teacher as opposed to students. So partner with another teacher. Choose a shared topic. So, throughout the year, there are times when classes are studying similar topics. So choose one of those times. Let one lesson build the creative expression and the other guide analysis. So the bridge between the two creates deeper thinking for both groups. All right, why this works. Let's talk a little bit about why phenomenon-based learning is so effective in helping students. Research in Finland shows that phenomenon-based learning builds not only knowledge, but well-being. Students feel trusted, they feel heard, they feel seen, they feel supported, and they understand why they're learning something. This isn't just a detached subject that isn't going to impact their life. When teachers collaborate, it models teamwork and respect. Students see adults listening, compromising, and building something together. And that's where communication and empathy grow. Studies show that when learning is connected across disciplines, students' engagement and retention rise dramatically. The brain loves to make connections. So collaboration isn't just a technique or a strategy that you can use in the classroom. It's how creativity and critical thinking are supported and really come alive. So I want to leave you with 2 reflection questions. And please, leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, because I really want to connect globally with teachers and school leaders and make this conversation ongoing. So what's one topic your students are already curious about that could become your first phenomenon lesson or project? Who could you collaborate with inside or outside your subject to make that exploration even richer? Remember, creativity isn't about adding more. So this isn't, requiring you to add a whole new lesson plan to your day or your week. It's about connecting what's already there. So finding those dots inside the lesson. If you'd like tools to help you get started, you can download our 5 Pillars of a Collaborative Teacher infographic. It pairs perfectly with the blog that will be posted later today called Beyond Subjects, and gives you practical ways to plan and reflect with your colleagues. You'll find the link in the notes and on Recla's Learning Studios page. Until next time, may your classroom and your colleagues and your students be a place where curiosity connects and creativity grows. Thanks for listening.